So let's go ahead and jump in and see what your first card is. Oh, pulling out the big dogs. Oh my gosh, your first card is... So welcome back to Aqua Goddess Tarot. Today we have a special pick a card for you. This is what the universe is calling out to you. So let's go ahead and listen. You chose which stone you wanted. I'm going to give you another second to look to see what the stone is calling to you. Okay, let's hop in. So, our first stone is going to be our zebra stripe agate. Very, very strong, very, very grounding, but illuminating at the same time. So, what does the universe want you to know? Let me tell you, it's a lot going on. A lot of stuff has been going down that we definitely need to take mind to and pay attention to. And so this is just one chance to really check in with ourselves to be like, okay, so what's going on here? Because I don't know if it's like y'all, but it's been a hot, stanky mess. So let's go ahead and jump in and see what your first card is. Oh, pulling out the big dogs. Oh my gosh, your first card is death, okay? Now, the death card is not a bad card. Everybody thinks it's so bad. It's talking about endings and beginnings. Right now, we are all transforming. We are really leaving the old ways of being and the old ways of doing things, and we are stepping forward into who we are in our next evolutionary path. And death is a representation that the monarchy has been thrown. These hierarchies no longer exist, and now we have more of a sisterhood, a brotherhood, and we're building towards an equitable society we want. But this card, y'all came out with the big dogs. Y'all, this card is just letting us know that, like, hey, yeah, you're evolving. You're no longer who you used to be. You're no longer that old way of doing things. And I mean, you're at the point where you're not even going to hold on to it anymore. Like, you could care less. You're like, you know what? It's just how it used to be, and it's just not that way anymore. And you really release it with peace. These cards are jumping out. Your next card, Five of Swords. Five of Swords definitely talks about strategy and understanding when to let go. If you've had friendships, if you've had family, you've had relationships, you've had business partnerships in which it has been tumultuous for a long time, this is the point where you kind of collect what you came with and you just exit stage left. Like, do not force yourself to stay longer than you did. Maybe before you were trying to push yourself to be something besides you, because what you were doing is you were representing the monarch. You were representing the hierarchy that wasn't necessarily built for you, but you just walked in and you were just like, I'm gonna keep on reproducing this. I get it. You know, when you start hearing like toxic masculinity, or you start hearing kind of these sayings that are a reflection of like the old ways that no longer service us as a species, this is just saying you gotta just collect your stuff. There's no more of this like lilies and butterflies of like, oh, I just want to make everything perfect before I can move on. It's not going to be that, and you're not going to leave empty-handed. You're going to leave with what you have. So the two people could represent two people in your life that just kind of you had to let go, or it just the connection had to be let go in general. Your next card is the Page of Wands. You are beginning a new kind of adventurous action in your life. So the universe is telling you, like, look, like, this is a wonderful time to experiment. This is a wonderful time to be out there, enjoy things. You know, things are still quarantined. I get it. But there's times where you can be with yourself. And you can, I don't want to say deal with yourself, but you can really do that internal growth. And there's going to be moments, it's not 100% like you're isolated. There's going to be moments, whether it is digitally or whether you see people social distancing, that they're going to come and help. But the next 3 to 7 years, this is definitely like the new path for you. And you needed this clearing out. You needed this old stuff. You needed this to be cleared out. You needed this rebirth to bring you forward. And this new, you know, coming forward into your life is so important. And then the Three of Wands. And so you have the Three of Wands upside down. So this girl is looking at or person, I don't know the gender, you know, because we elevate and we no longer assuming shit. So the Three of Wands represents this traveler, and this traveler who's going out and kind of looking across the sea, and it could be multiple things. It's a longing to go across the sea. It could also be something like, it's like, you're like, there's a huge journey in front of me, or like, you know, a lot. It's just a lot of perspective. It's the macro view, and it's upside down. So it's saying that the journey right now is a journey inward, and it's the macro view journey of what you're going through on the inside, where you're going, where you've been, you know, all of these things. So all these lessons you learned in your life all the way up until this point is really a moment for you to go inside and reflect on what they actually mean, what it means for the macro view of your life. It goes hand in hand with all of these things. But if you skip out on this reflection, you're not going to get that extra amount of just wisdom. You know what that wisdom is? It's like somebody tells you don't touch the stove. So you don't touch the stove, but it's just like one day you're not even thinking about it, and boop, you hit it. That's wisdom. Wisdom is that feeling of burn that no one else ever has to tell you again, don't touch the stove. You're never going to forget it. You don't even have to think about it. So going inside allows you to go and look back at your life. Everything, highs and lows, just everything. Because when you look at it from that perspective, there's no wrong answers. So when you go back and you look at it, you see all the little things building up. Yep, you had to have conflict there because it made you speak up. Oh, you had to have conflict there because it shows when you don't speak up. It just shows these different things. So really take this time, especially as long as Cancer Mercury is in retrograde in Cancer. It's a wonderful time to really look at those things. And then you have your Knight of Wands. So there's a lot of action coming your way. I mean, some really, really good stuff. And the action that's coming your way is just this charging towards into your future. You're at a place in your life where you're like, you know what? Like, I just can't. Like, if you were one of those people who like tried your dream 1,000 times, or you cut yourself short, or maybe you made a goal, but you're like, where do I go to now? This is saying like, you're no longer at a place anymore where you even have to think about it. You are just charging forward into your future, into your destiny, and you're not putting any thoughts. Like, it's just not needed anymore. Like, you've already had your analysis paralysis. It's just you're charging forward into that life that you want and that's destined for you. And then the Page of Cups, and you have the Page of Cups in reverse. And the Page of Cups in reverse is really expressing this understanding, especially during this period. It's an internal period of understanding your emotions. So the most, I want to say the most successful, but successful is relative. The most enjoyable people to be around are people who are in tune with their emotion. It doesn't mean they're crying at the top, like the drop of a dime. It doesn't mean that they're so walled up that they express no feelings, but they know how to be authentic to themselves. They cry when they need to cry, you know. They show restraint when they need to show restraint. And so this is an opportunity for you to go and do that journey of your feelings. Your feelings is important because your feelings will lie to you. Like, you will be so scared and so nervous of something, and your feelings will come up with all your thoughts too, will come up with all these kind of ideas to convince yourself not to do it. You don't do it, and you think, well, you know, that's because that would have happened. And then you feel some type of way when someone else doesn't give in to their feelings. They do it and they make it happen, and you're like, oh, you know, maybe they just have it easier, or some people are just lucky. It's not that at all. You really have to rein in your feelings, and that's something that has to do with the evolution. Feelings are important, but letting them run wild, especially negative feelings, it's not smart at all. I'm not saying that every person should be, as I say before, often lilies and butterflies and everything is peachy keen. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that there are some times where you gotta have a little bit of courage. Like, you gotta think of a Beyonce. Beyonce is out there performing. She probably don't care now, but for years, this person dedicated their entire life to performing, and they still got nervous, knowing that they could outperform anybody in the crowd, but they still got nervous. So this is just letting you know that these feelings of emotions, nerves, anxiety, whatever that is, you just really have to kind of hone them in and get them in check so that they don't run amok anymore, because the death card definitely represents the old way of doing things, and you can't do it anymore. Like it doesn't even hook the same way. Like you can understand where you were coming from, but you just don't feel that way anymore. And then the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is very interesting in this card, because honestly, it's saying like everything has hit you, but it's not going to break you at all. Like, it doesn't matter. Another person could come and say that they don't like the way you wear your shoes, and you're like, I don't give a fuck. Like, dead ass. Like, you are just like, I don't care anymore. I'm at the point where do what you gotta do, but I'ma do me. And that's a good place, honestly, to be right now in your life, so that you no longer have to hold on to that old way of doing things, the old way of believing things, the old way of feeling things. You're elevating, you know. It's not even just a level of maturity. What I'm getting from a sense from you is that you're so grounded in who you are. You've learned your lessons this life. You've already learned them, and you don't feel like you need to repeat them again. Some people feel like they need to continue to repeat their lessons over and over and over again, but not you. You're like, you know what? I learned them. Sometimes I learned them longer than I needed to learn them, and I'm ready to let them go in peace. And so that's what you did. You just let them go in peace. And your next one, Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is looking kind of at, you know, Five of Cups is a bit of a comparison to the Five of Swords, because the Five of Cups is looking at the three cups that are like fallen over, whereas the two cups are still standing up. So it's really a warning for this feeling of, how do you look at things? Do you look at them as half empty, or do you look at them as half full? Because this is a reminder that as long as you look at things half empty in the way that you've always done, you're always going to get the same thing, which is you're just going to make more of how you feel. And so if you reverse that, you look at the things that are half full, you start to be mindful, and you take up what you have, you put all your energy into building something more, then that's what you get out of it. That's what I say all the time. Like, you know, you want to beat a dead horse, you want to beat a dead relationship, you want to beat a dead road. But here's the thing, like, you could take that same amount of energy into a nice paved road and just go as far and as lovely as you want to, no longer having to suffer, no longer having to make yourself be what you used to be or something like that. Let it all go. So that's what the universe is saying to you right there. So let's see what Goddess is really coming to you here, and just giving you that wisdom, that protection. It's really important to see who you could necessarily be channeling right now during this journey. And I would say this journey is from 1 to 3 years. The larger aspect of the journey is going to be 3 to 7. But who is it that is calling you? Okay. Which one? This one? Go outside. Who's this? Cordelia? Yep. Go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside. Get some fresh air. So as we started with the first part for you, it was going out. You're taking an adventure. You feel like you might be isolated at times, but you always have nature. And this reconnection to nature is really what's going to save our planet, so that we are more mindful of how we utilize the earth. We care more about our ecological footprint, but there is a way to go outside and be in nature, and you don't have to be at a bar. Not that there's anything wrong with being at a bar, but it's just one of many experiences. Try something new, and you may find yourself reborn. So you can always call on her in nature. Go be by the beach. Go be in the sand. Go be under the trees. I went outside and I just was soaking in the sun. Just do those things, because that is how you're going to be charged up in your journey. So this is what the universe wants you to know. Let you know that you got some nice stuff coming in front of you. Again, Aqua Goddess Tarot. You want to see these more bigger cards? I'll give it to you straight. But until next time, everybody, please subscribe. But see you later. Okay, next group. So the group that you chose The stone is the Shiva Lingam. And so that is a very, very fertile stone. So we're going to see if y'all about to have some babies around your way, some grandbabies, some children. I'm getting collectively a lot of energy. A lot of people have been moving to want to be teachers because they're seeing, wanting to have change in life, social justice, wanting to change the history system, and they want to do that by becoming a teacher. They also are just at a point in their life where they're like, I want to give back, and I want to, train the next generation in the way that I wasn't. So this could represent actual fertility, or it could represent just becoming or stepping into your role as a teacher. So let's see what the universe wants you to know. So your first card. Okay, the Six of Pentacles. So you're going to be really juggling these gifts, but you're going to be in the position very much so like the teacher, where it's like you're giving these nuggets of wisdom to people and they want it, but there's still a sense of boundary here. You are still the authority figure, but you're not in any kind of like, I want to say abusive, but like an unfair balance of power. It's not that at all. It's like you're supposed to be here. That's where you're supposed to be. And you have something here that will be able to translate to others. And so you should definitely feel connected to that. I'm getting teacher energy. Let me know. Go ahead and drop it in the comment section if y'all have been feeling like, okay, I feel like I need to teach something. Your next one. Three of Wands. So this is right now as a collective. So everybody's looking at the macro view in their lives. And the most important part of this is reflecting internally, going inside and making some decisions. And the decisions that you're making here is basically saying, looking over your life and saying like, hey, this is where things went well. This is where things did not go well. And I'm going to be different. I'm going to have a different experience. But you can really only do that if you go through that process of learning the wisdom of your life, so that you don't have to learn any more lessons again. Like, you got to be free from all of the lessons that you've been exposed to in your life and just move forward and have a new experience. The King of Swords. Yep, you are going to be literally a mastermind when it comes to strategy. You right now have the ability to build whatever it is you want to. I mean, like, I'm talking about like, you want to build a business, you want to build a family, you want to build something. You just have this energy within you, and you're at the place where you have mastered all of that old stuff that was getting in the way, that was really blocking your gift. It's not going to happen anymore. And now you can actually see yourself for who you are, and no longer just feel like you're kind of stuck in the past of how things used to be. The Moon. So the Moon is a very interesting card. And the reason why the Moon is an interesting card is because it often talks about secrets. It talks about what's done in the dark. And so there could be two things here. The first thing could be an illumination. Who you are comes in and shines a light on the darkness. Or it could talk about having some type of hard period in your life, something about you, sickness, illness, just something about you that always lingers, but it is this thing that becomes your core motivation in order to move forward in your life, in your journey. You're at a point where it no longer limits you, but you see it. It could almost be vices, but it's not active vices. It's just things that are deep buried down secrets. And it lets you know, for example, if somebody hurt you, you might go on this crusade for the rest of your life to be of love, to be of service. But this is kind of the cornerstone of what it is. So it could be either the illumination, which you're automatically going to do. You're going to illuminate. You're going to bring people into the forefront. You're going to have all of that energy. Or it's going to be, you're always going to be reminded of something but you're no longer a slave to it. You're no longer shackled to it. Before, just thinking about it a little bit brought up so much for you, so much pain and so much hurt. But it's really kind of like you're growing up. You're no longer a kid anymore. You're no longer hurt by being afraid of the dark, or, you know, everybody's still a little bit afraid of the dark. You know, you're scared of what's in the dark. But you're no longer afraid of those kind of crazy little things that you used to be afraid of. And you see it for what it is, which is, okay, well, let me love myself and nurture myself nowadays as best as I can for this, even though I know it's a sore spot. But I'm not going to stay stuck. I'm not going to stay sad. I'm not going to always kind of just be in the past. And so this is just a reminder that, number one, you also have a ton of layers. Like, I'm talking about like layers to you, and that's what makes you pretty interesting. You have quite a bit of kings coming up. We got the King of Wands. So not only do you have the King of Action, or the King of Thoughts, but you also have the King of Action. So not only are you going to come up with a great plan, but you're going to be a great executor of this plan. So what I'm getting here, it's very much so business-esque. You're going to be teaching. The universe wants you to step into a role where you're going to be teaching in a very building something, business, professional, whatever that is. But you are the one who has the knowledge, and it's going through, it's something that you felt hurt about when you were younger, something maybe you felt insecure about. That's a good way to put it. Something that was an insecurity of yours, but you have now kind of mastered it so much that people want to come to you for that, and you have the ability to kind of weather the storm and be able to go through that terrain of those difficult times, because you've already come to the other side and you've done the time, like you in jail. No, you've taken the time to reflect internally about everything your entire life, and also you're still doing that work, so you're still getting wisdom. But the universe is actually asking you to, hey, step up into this role, and I guarantee you, you're not going to lead yourself astray. And Wheel of Fortune, and then you have your Wheel of Fortune card upside down. And so your Wheel of Fortune card here represents taking a chance, but the chance is less of an external chance and more of an internal chance. It's no longer just like your issue isn't like, oh, let me just, take a chance, because you're a hard worker. You will take a chance, but really you'll just put action behind something and work on it. But internally, you have to take a chance with yourself. You have to transform yourself into something that you have never been before. And you have to take a chance on yourself and really try your deepest desire. Be as vulnerable as you possibly can with yourself. And sometimes people get lost in wanting to do all of those things with other people, when the reality of it all is you need to do it with yourself. So take a chance on yourself. Trust yourself. Do everything internally different. So if before you were like, okay, I made a plan, I'm going to do this. By this date, it should work out. By that date, it should work out. And if it doesn't work out, I'm going to pivot. This is saying just go to the heart. Find what that thing is. Stick with that thing. It doesn't matter what's happening, rain or shine. Stick with it. And that's the chance it's telling you to take right now. And bet on yourself. Because you've gone through everything else. It doesn't really matter anymore. But this is the most important thing, because it's just going to jettison you into an entirely new level of your life, career, just in purpose. It's no longer about like, you're going to do it to make money. Money's going to come. You're going to do it to have fame. You're going to have a certain level of respect for who you are. It's more about purpose. You're here for a purposeful agreement. And Two of Cups upside down is talking about a business partner is either coming, or you need to decide if you want to go things on your own. Like you want to go it on your own, you want to go solo. So if you've been someone who always worked on their own, be open that in the future, as you're betting on yourself, as you're elevating yourself, you can bring in business partnerships in a way that feels comfortable to you. Maybe you don't want someone all up in, your energy all the time, but it helps, in a certain way, because when you want to go somewhere far, you go together. You want to go fast, you want to go by yourself, but you're going to burn out. You're not going to get far at all. And so this could mean that. It also could mean that you have kind of played the partnership with people for a long time, and it's time for you to step out on your own. So the way that you will know if this applies to you is if you are one of the others. So if you're kind of like a solo person, be open to business partnerships that will come into your life that will be helpful, but they will be the boundaries you want. And if you've always been someone who is always helping other people, kind of always being the great team player, be open to the fact that you are going to be the leader, that you are going to be the main focal point. And it's less of you being a helper and more of the universe is going to provide the right people, just like you were for other people, for you to build it up. So this is a representation of that. And the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is telling us, with all of these things, you will get nervous and you will get scared, and you might think like, oh, can I do this? I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to the other side. But you got to understand that that is just thoughts. It's nothing else except for that. You're going to be able to do anything, whether things are going well or things are not going well. As long as you have breath in your body and the ability to do something, you can. But that mental anguish, that's going to be the old part of you, that old muscle memory in your mind that wants to do things the way it's always done. It just wants to feel comfortable. But since you're betting on yourself, you got to understand that there's going to be some times where you feel nervous, but hey, just let it be. Let it be whatever it is, let the universe handle it. Let the universe work on it, because sometimes things need a delay. Sometimes things need to pop. Not everything is just for our ego to make us feel good in the moment right now. No, just let it be what it is, but lead from a purpose, because the money will come, the respect will come, but even more than that, you're changing people's lives. Something that you're doing is significantly changing people's lives. So let's see what goddess embodies you and is giving you this energy that the universe is telling us to bring you forward. Okay. Let me see who it is. And just remember, you can call on this person at any time during your journey. They are protecting you. They are surrounding you aggressively. And this is Vesta, home. So what I'm getting from this is that your home is going to be a beautiful place. We started off with the Shiva Lingam, which is a stone of fertility. And then you have our goddess, Vesta, who represents home. She says your household situation is improving either through a move or a healthy change in occupancies. So your home is so important. So if you want this all to be, you need to really hunker down and figure out your home. So you got to have one of those homes that when you come in, you're super excited and you just love to be there. That when people come in, they feel excited and they feel just welcomed in. You might also, this might be a reflection of online. So you're building a business online within your home. So it's less of you having to go out to places and more of just you feel like your most comfort. And that's the most important part, because you're going to do your greatest work there. So she's there for you at all times. This is what the universe wanted you to hear. Take that, use the wisdom, and really just bring awesome things into your life. So until next time, subscribe and come back to Aqua Goddess Tarot. So if you chose the emerald stone, a very, very lovely and fancy stone, emerald cut diamonds, some of the fanciest types. And emerald just in general is a strong representation of the heart in general. So already I'm kind of getting this feeling that the universe wants you to be mindful of something that has to do with your heart, who you are, your heart chakra. Your heart can also be your purpose, like what your purpose is in life is. And so let's go ahead and see what's coming up for you. What is your first card? Little sticky stick. The Fool. Ooh, you got the Fool upside down too. This is exciting because the Fool is one of those cards where as you go through life, sometimes you gotta just like not think about it. And with this Fool in reverse, it's kind of coming off to me with like, just don't think about it. Like, and it's not even like make a mistake. It's like, just don't think about it. Are you making a mistake? Probably. I'm so serious. Probably you're making a mistake. But a part of the journey of leaping and getting to the other side is kind of making those foolish mistakes and be able to laugh at yourself. So if you're a very, very serious person, this is a wonderful exercise, an opportunity for you to do as you are kind of getting more and more into yourself, because I feel like there's something that is trying to push out, like your purpose is trying to kind of like jump all the way out, and you're not 100% letting it out because you're so rigid. And maybe you're not externally rigid, but internally you know exactly what you want the way that you want it. And you have to be able to let go, free it up, and enjoy the journey, because you come off to me like one of those people where it's like you finally let go and you're like, fucking, I'm just gonna live life, and like you win the lottery or something like that. And you're like, because it's more about going on that journey of self-understanding, the journey of looking at life in kind of like a funny way, in a whimsical way. So that's the energy I'm getting from you. But let's see what the universe wants. What else? Five of Swords, also something that has been coming up. And so it's talking about leaving behind old ways of doing things. And so that's what we are, as a collective experience, are leaving behind a lot of old ways of doing things, no longer serving us. They don't work anymore. And you're in a good place where it's not only are you leaving the old ways that you're doing things, but you're not holding on to them either. Like, you're sad, you realize that you kind of have to put your big kid drawers on or whatever. You gotta pull that stuff up, but you also understand that that time is gone. It's not coming back. You're not. It's sad to think about, but you're gonna let it go in peace. Where I don't think others are actually handling it as well as you are, and this could be life partnerships, friendships, communities, a very, very strong feeling of communities, whatever you felt was a community you're in, and that you're no longer in that community anymore. That's the feeling. And I think other people are devastated because they looked at you as an integral part of how they saw themselves. But you're saying, like, you know what, I have to experience life, and I can't always be limited by just what someone else is thinking or feeling or believing of me. So your next is, you have the Knight of Pentacles, and you have something lucky about you. There's something that is very, very lucky about you that you don't actually have to put a lot of thought into. There are other people who really have to think things out and like, oh, I gotta figure this out. But you are just a lucky person in general, and I think because of that, you have to move more from your purpose, from your energy, but you don't have to do what other people are doing. Like, the universe is telling you that connect with your heart, and you will see this kind of rainbow, or this treasure, all these things. And the Two of Swords in reverse, talking about internally, you know what to do. Like, you don't need to ask someone else to make a decision for you. You know what to do. And I think you may have been for a while a little bit confused. Like, you were saying like, oh, I don't know, or like indecisive, when the answer is you do know. Like, you know, it's the most cuckoo Cocoa Puffs thing that you would do, that another person would be like, oh, that's not too bad. But you're like, no, I can't possibly do that. You sure can, because you know what to do. Like, you're so connected with the ability to make difficult decisions, especially where you don't have a lot, like you don't have a lot of reference of why you would be able to make that good decision, but you're good at it. And the reason why is because you have a gift. Like, there's something lucky about you, or there's some kind of extra gift that you have that the universe is actually asking you to tap into more right now. And that's really going to lead to your purpose. It's going to lead to who you are. It's going to illuminate your heart. But there's something special about you, some special gift. I kind of feel like it has something to do with money. 7 of Wands. And you're just good. Like you're good at navigating multiple terrains. Like you have gone through various stages in your lives, and I don't think you even take things as conflict anymore. You might be an earth sign because you're just so used to it, but like, or you have earth in your chart. You don't even take it as conflict anymore. You take it as it's just a part of it, and you find your way to be your most dapper, to be your most put together while you're going in and you're kind of like navigating anything. So you really have the spread of the traveler, you have the spread of the adventurer, you have the spread of the person who is transforming. And so that's what's coming in front. I think you come off to me like someone who's about to be famous, or someone who is they're just going to transform. Like they're going to ascend in a way that's going to take them in front of other people, because they have an ability to be able to be in front of the masses or be in front of other people and not be bothered by the way that other people are bothered. And then you have the Tower in reverse, just like you have that Fool in reverse. So here it is, it's like you actually don't have an issue when there's like calamity around you. That's very interesting. You have your Fool and you have your Tower in reverse. Like you are not, like you come off to me like a reality TV, but you're actually good at it. Like you come off to me like you could do something like real estate, like flipping houses or something, where you see something that needs to be gutted and flipped back, or businesses too, failing businesses, you come back and you see something there and you flip it. So here's a secret to your purpose. It has something to do with you're able to go and like take what someone might consider their trash and turn it into treasure, because there is a core aspect of you that has the ability to push yourself to go forward, to make decisions internally without looking at the external stuff. And you're still practicing it. You're practicing it in your everyday life now, but externally, you have a really, really good temperament for these things. And that's why I'm getting that you could make a lot of money, because when you do the things that other people don't want to do, you could end up making a lot of money from it, a lot of connection, it's a lot of good and a lot of purpose. So something in here, my guess is either real estate, television, something. You're taking something and you're transforming it into something else that people really, really want, and you're doing the hard work of it, and you're not even like bothered by it. Like it doesn't make you feel no type of way. Justice. And so here it is, you have your Justice in reverse. And so what I first get from this is social justice, but what you're going to be doing is, by what you're doing internally, you are going to create that mechanism, that calibration in other people. So just by being who you are is going to change people's lives. Just by going throughout life the way that you are going throughout life is going to impact people in a way that transforms them. For example, someone back in the day saw somebody who was a woman, and she was a lawyer, and it was the first lawyer that she saw on television. And here it is, this person is just an actor, they're playing a role, but the fact that they played such a powerful role at a time where you didn't really see many women be lawyers, and it made it so real to that little girl that she then went out and she then became a lawyer. So that's what that Justice in reverse is really talking about, where just by being you, you're going to switch the mechanism in another person and bring them forth in a much more stronger way than if you just went out and told a little girl to be a lawyer. because they saw that in you. They saw what you brought into life in your artwork, and they had the drive to do it without you asking them. So that's very, very interesting. You are an icon. I'm getting icon. I'm getting trendsetter. This fell out. So what is it? Page of Wands. So get to going. Get that journey going. So the Page of Wands is saying, like, the only thing that you need to worry about, you don't got to do a lot of thinking. You don't have to do a lot of planning. Get that tush on the road. Just get the action going, and you're going to be completely fine. Like, follow your instincts, because your instincts are gold, top notch, and just follow that. Like, follow that road, and you're going to get to exactly where you need to go, because you have that in you. That emerald is pulling from your heart. You have a very, very connected heart, more connected than most. So let's see what Goddess is protecting you along your journey. And your journey can be, you know, you're going to really feel this in the next year, but you're going to see the full picture of it for the next 3 to 7 years. And so let's see which Goddess is really there for you. And as you know, you can always reach out to this Goddess on your journey if you need extra protection, if you need extra clarity, if you need extra anything, just insight. She is there for your protection, and you can use her. Oh, White Tara. Love me some White Tara. So White Tara has everything to do with sensitivity. It says you are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, where you have a level of like sensitivity on the inside, instinct, something that it's not on the physical, it's very much so the internal, that is guiding you forward and taking you there in a strong way. So this is just reinforcing. White Tara is saying this to you. She's saying reinforce that don't put yourself in negative relationships, because it's going to throw you off the stray. Negative environments, people who are hating and hurting. Now the difference is where we talked about you can go into calamity and you can fix it. You don't want your place of peace to be that. When you come home, you want that to be the place where you relax. So as you go back into the world, it doesn't impact you. So making sure that your home is an important place to recharge, and situation and chemicals, eating a healthy life, care about your body. This is really what's going to amplify those gifts and bring you forth into the future. So I'm so excited for you. Go ahead and just make those amazing things happen in your life. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, I want to be there to be like, I knew you could do it. So thank you for coming to Aqua Goddess Tarot. So until next time, this is what the universe wanted you to know.